You know, there's a lot of interesting things that crosses pathways these days, and we have to really start taking a look at what's important in life. It's the back and forth and the uncertainty of things, how things happen. We just never know what tomorrow's going to bring, and with all the stuff that's happening out there, and now Japan and well, I shouldn't say Japan, China, with all the news that's breaking. Satan's just trying to put fear, and he's trying to do fear nonstop. And personally, myself, I'm not even going to entertain his nonsense up there because for me to put fear into anything but the fear of God is by far not ever where I'm going to go in life. And I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know what today's going to bring. To be honest with you, it is what it is, and this day's pretty much done, and you know just start it all over tomorrow if tomorrow comes. I just lift everything up to Christ every night, every day, and I try to do my best by serving Him. I try to do my best by uh, running this household, and it's is it exhausting at times? Absolutely. I mean, it just gets to a point where you got to deal with family, you got to deal with all that, and it's nobody said that life was going to be easy. That's for sure, and I'm starting to see it more and more. And the amazing part about it is when you have those moments, then you look at it and go, "What if?" And what I mean by that is, what if I would have done things different? What if wouldn't have? Uh, what if I would have just stayed under the bridge? But it was getting cold, and I believed those people, and I guess that's my first problem for believing people that are like me. You know, it does it get exhausting with Walmart and all the very things that takes place into all this. Hold on a second. Let me see what this dog's whining about. Sorry about that. Couldn't get up the steps to go outside, I guess. But so even like that, it's you have to be able to move quickly in life, and you got to be able to move quickly on what you see that's happening around the world. I mean, it's just you can't get exhausted. We can't quit the fight now. Uh, if this September is right, then here we go. You know, we're going to jump into this, and we're just going to continue to move forward and see what happens. If Christ comes, we have to be ready. We have to be ready by any circumstances that examining ourselves, getting through with our own issues, I guess is a better way to put it. Um, Doubts, we got to get that out of there. We got to get ourself and our own minds clear. Sometimes we don't understand why God does what He does. We don't understand why our lives flip upside down. And I just have to keep going off what the Bible says. The Bible says, we don't go through anything that he hasn't already prepared a place and a way for us. So if that's I believe in that. I live on that. And so for all that to be true, then we have to know that we have to be ready. You know, we have to be ready for the return of Christ, and we have to be ready for each day that we walk on this earth, not to be in the foolish ways. I thought I was going to make it today without having to repent, and didn't happen. You know, I mean, there's time that the pain just kicks in so bad, and you're trying to bend, you're trying to move, and I know, I mean, I'm not coming against anybody that. But what gets me is when I let me back up for a minute. What gets me is when people tell you they understand, or they ask you, "Hey Nelson, how you doing?" And then when I start to tell them, I don't even get part of it out. Oh, my knees hurt today, or my back's hurting, this and this and this. Okay, why do you even ask me if I don't even get a chance? But my thing is, I'm not making light of anybody's issues in life with their bodies or anything else, but I have to deal with my right calf nonstop. I mean, it literally feels like somebody's just jamming stuff through there. My knee, my lower back, and my hips, and now it's just shooting up. I mean, up through the spinal cord and stuff. It is what it is. So naturally, I'm 240 pounds, I'm between 240 and 245, and I'm not a light guy. And so you look at it and you go, wow. Um, so yeah, it takes a lot out of me every day. And I'm not saying it's right to get grouchy. I'm not saying it's that, but it seems like when I really get it, I'm not hungry most of the time. When I do get hungry, it's like I can't even put it into words. When I do get hungry, I want to eat right there. I mean, like right now, I want to eat, and I don't want to do anything else. I mean, the pains, stomach pains hurt so bad that if I don't get something to eat soon, like right there, this is all new for me. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with a lot of issues, and I just kind of keep it to myself because it it's better that way. And I really don't even. I try to avoid being around these questions, how you doing, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm beginning to think it's all just a bunch of. It could be true. I don't know. I don't judge people's hearts. I don't know what's truly in their hearts, and I don't really go there. But you know, what gets me is I I'm not easily hurt. I'm not easily offended by things, but I lately it seems like the older I get, the more sensitive I get to things, I guess. And what gets me is I've did plenty of videos where I talk about this. Just because it looks one way, there's a lot of different ways that I do things. Just to look at the spirit, look at the thoughts of people, and I'm beginning to think that people think I'm the biggest pile of what that walks this earth, because it's like no matter how I say something, no matter how I word something, and no matter how I put it, I'm not big on going into a whole lot of details. This is why I ask a lot of times, even on here, that I can do a visual reply to people instead of trying to type it, because it's just going to be a mess. The demonic activities that's going on in this demonic realm is, I don't know. I just don't even know what to tell people anymore. It's Satan's coming to rob, kill, and destroy whatever he can get, and he's going to continue to do it. And that's the bottom line. I mean, that's what he wants to do, and he's already prepared to do it. He's already doing. Um, do I really think that I'm going to be able to go another year the way I am right now. Nah. Do I hope Jesus comes tomorrow? Yeah, yeah. Do I hope he comes in September? What I've been praying for. I don't know what else to do but pray and pray and pray and pray. Maybe, maybe it's not going to happen in September, but maybe he'll honor prayers of the people that are truly seeking him, that truly want to be received in heaven. So you never know. I don't know. I know I struggle some days to have pure thoughts about things and not be judgmental, but just keep circling back around some days. And I can't stand my biggest thing is having to keep repeating something over and over and over. I grow tired with it. I guess I grow weary of real fast. What? Okay, don't put that. I don't know what in the world why that thing is. Hold on a second. This thing's. I don't know why. I don't even know what that thing is. Retouch. Retouch off. I'm just gonna leave it off. I don't even know what it is. Um, like I'm talking to myself. I'm just like staring at stuff going. But this is what I like to do. This is what clears my mind, whether or not. And it's. I guess it's no different when you go live or if you go on to doing the videos. There's nobody on the videos when I talk on there either. And I don't know. Some days you just get lonely. There's a lot of empty time, I call it. And when you get into them empty times and them empty places in life, it's hard to focus, I guess. But I guess if you had to go one way in life, you had to make a decision. What would you want it to be? If you could have one wish, what would you wish for? It's kind of hard, isn't it? It's kind of like that genie in the bottle thing. You rub it, and then it you get your three wishes. What would you wish? But you couldn't ask for love. You couldn't ask for more wishes. So what would you ask for? It's kind of difficult, isn't it? I mean, would you just automatically just ask for something real fast just to see if it was going to work, and then you realize, dang, I shouldn't have wasted that wish on that? I don't know. But each day is actually somebody is on here. Caleb. Nelson and I will always be here for you. I will send you an email if you want. But look, I love you very much. Keep it in mind. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I really do. It means a lot. Yeah, I tell anybody you can email me anytime you want. I check my emails about twice a day just to there's a lot of stuff going on, so I just check my emails. But there's actually a thing on here where on this live that you can other people can go live with you. But I never really did it because I know a lot of people don't want to be seen and they just want to be, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Don't pay no mind or attention to the man behind the curtain. And that's okay because everybody has their own ways of looking at life and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. There's no wrong way and right way. The only wrong way is to follow Satan's pathway. And it seems like that's happening more and more these days. It seems like more and more people are getting detoured off the path and becoming overwhelmed. And, there's so much fear out there right now. I mean, there's so many people fearing of what the government's going to do or what taxes are going to do or property tax is going to go up or is this going to happen or that. I'm like, my gosh, if you sat there and wrote everything down, you would probably, if you weren't depressed, you'd probably become depressed. So you got to just give it to God in prayer. You got to constantly stay in that devotion to Him. You have to constantly keep your mind as Jesus praying, keep your heart like the Father loved, because He loved us so much, he gave us Jesus, and bind them two together. I think these churches are failing at a lot of things. I think that hell is one of the testimony things that most churches won't even hear of. I'm actually going Tuesday to talk to a pastor, and I mean, I know I've done my hell testimony quite a bit, but I'm hoping he gives me an opportunity because honestly, this will actually be the first time I've done it. Well, no, it would be the second. I stand corrected. In the area, well, it'd be the first time in this particular area that most of that demonic stuff that took place. The first church I did it at, um, I I was real close. I was real close to a lot of stuff that I did, being under the bridges, washing my clothes, and all that kind of stuff. It's you you learned a lot of valuable lessons in life, and I guess even back then, I never thought I'd make it far in life, nor did I ever thought I was going to end up like this. But God has a reason for this. I don't know what it is, but I know God has a reason for it. I know that God would never allow me to go through something like this if I'm not going to give him the praise and the glory. Some days I struggle giving him the praise and the glory, but like today, it's like it just I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't do anything right today, and it started again. I was hungry. Then it started with my youngest daughter. Then one thing led to the next, and it's like you just get to a point where you just give up, and that's where I was. Today I just had enough. I just wanted to shut down, and I didn't want to do anything else. But then we end up going to get some dinner, and I know we got food and stuff in here to eat, and I don't like to waste food, but man, I don't want to spend money either that we don't have coming in, but yet at that point I just don't even care. I mean, I wouldn't even care if it was a McDonald's hamburger at that point. I'm not a big fan of it. I used to like McDonald's, but uh, I'm not a big fan of it. I think the prices are overpriced, and if I'm gonna go out to dinner, sure, I'm not gonna go to McDonald's. I'd better go in somewhere and sit down and enjoy it for as much as I can get out of it, I guess, because there's no comfort. It's like it's funny because when I was younger, I didn't care uh, if I went to sleep or not. I knew I'd go get a couple hours sleep and I'd be right back up. Now when I want to sleep, I can't sleep. Isn't that? I mean, it's kind of like a oxymoron or something. I don't even know how to really put it into words, but it's kind of stupid. I mean, it's like I just want to sleep. I just I just want this over. And you got to watch because it's a fine line that you start getting into that you got to be careful that you don't cross it because Satan's waiting. He's always waiting that lurking behind that door. Let me tell you something that I've never told anybody. There's a spot in hell. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I mean, truly, I truly mean this. I, if I probably could have threw up in hell, I probably would have thrown up that particular time. What I've seen because it basically there's a there's a place that they go and they throw you down onto this table and cut you with their nails and they grab a hold of your skin with their two fingernails, which their nails look like claws, almost like a Freddy Krueger type thing. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, they're like sharp, pointy, like I don't even know how to, almost like you ever see them fake fingernails you put on your thing at Halloween time and stuff like that with the long fingernail. That's what it looks like. And after they cut you, they just grab a hold of your skin and they just peel layer after layer and then sit there. I woke up 2 nights ago listening to this girl scream down in hell. I literally thought I was back. That whole dream, I woke up and I finally was able to go back to sleep and I started having a dream again. And all I kept thinking is, why, God? Why? Why am I dreaming this? Am I destined for hell? I hope not. I try to do the right things, good deeds, good works, and doing stuff to get man's praise. It's like that thing. If you do something, but you don't have love, you've accomplished nothing. Do something for gain for yourself, you've accomplished nothing. If you do something that you try to get man's tap, well, hell is full of people like that. I mean, seriously, you guys don't even realize the nightmares that I have. And where was I? I was somewhere, but I don't know if I was in a store or whatever. But that clock that I talk about in hell don't have a second hand, don't have the hour hand, don't have the minute hand, but it just ticks, ticks, ticks. I heard that clock the other day, and I froze. I was outside. I think I was here. I might have been down at the grocery store down the road here, but I can't remember. But that's another sound. I cannot. I used to always like the cuckoo clocks and stuff. Let me tell you, that is a sound I cannot listen to anymore. I cannot stand to hear a ticking of a clock, a watch. All my watches are digital. I just can't stand it. I can't stand. There's some things when I cook, and I can smell that sulfur smell. If I'm outside burning something and I can smell that sulfur smell, my thoughts automatically go to hell. Fireworks, anything that leaves that sulfur style smell. You know, what is that? That post postmodern stress thing that the army people go through or military people go through. You know, I think I have some of that issues just by what I've seen and what I've lived through. I think the torture and stuff. Sometimes I torture myself more than uh, the experiences and stuff that I've lived in life. because you really can't be sad about anything because you didn't know and you don't know the difference. If you don't know the difference about a hot pan being on a stove and you run in there and grab it, you're sure gonna know the difference real fast by what's going on in that kitchen there. You know, uh, I don't need to see water coming out of there, and you think about the heat, but yet in hell you can't escape that heat. In hell you can't escape your blood basically feels like it's going to boil right out of your skin, and it's hard to even get people to wrap their brain around what you're saying because there's so many ways that you can doubt something, but it's true. It's truly true that when these things start to take place and manifest into your life, it could be your children, it could be a spouse, it could be a family member, it could be whatever. You know, just because it says it's one thing doesn't mean it is. It's up to you to test the spirit, to test the fruits of it. You know, that's spiritual warfare. And if if this is all correct about September, what do you think is going to happen between now and that week of the 20th? What do you think? I don't know what the world that was. What do you think is going to happen? You think Satan's just going to sit back and let nothing take place? Keep sending messages up there, but um, Satan isn't going to give up easy. I've said it, people, and I've said it over and over and over and over. How do you know when you're getting ready to do something great for God? Because your life turns upside down quickly. Satan comes at both barrels, blazing at you, trying to take you out. Well, I'm not always that easy to give up, but when you struggle through life, you got to overcome it. And I know I'm a fine person to talk when lately it seems like all I've been doing is crying about how much pain I'm in. Well, it helps me talk about it. It helps me talk about it, even if I'm on here by myself. It's just I just pulled a dime out of my pocket. It's a dime. This kind of stuff amazes me. I don't know why. It's like, why would a dime be in my pocket? Crazy. Anybody got an answer for it? You know. You know, I've been thinking a lot about winter coming. Thought about last winter and how cold it was, and I start getting a little antsy. It's like, but I try not to complain about stuff. I try not to get into that area in life where I am displeasing God. See, so many of us think that we got this right. Okay, so many of us think that you know, um, God's a forgiving God. That He is. The Lord goes to the Father on our behalf every day for something, whether you realize it or not. You might not. You might be asking for something. You might not be asking for nothing. But Jesus is constantly going to the Father on our behalf. He's that in between. That's why He says He's the bridge. You can't get into heaven. You can't get into the Father's place without Him. So if we hold that thought, if not, you're going to allow Lucifer and Satan to present the things that's going to lead you straight into hell. It happens quicker than what you think. I mean, you go and start looking at your own lives and look at what's happening in your lives. People don't want to hear this in churches. People don't want to hear that it's all good. Well, not in our church. This isn't going to happen. Let me tell you right now, I've not yet stepped foot in the church yet that I have not seen people gossiping, that I have not seen people pointing their fingers, that I have not seen people holding cell phones in their hands on social media apps. And why church is going on, people. The church that I was going to, most of it's family, or they've been in that church for a long time. See, the complacency of being somewhere too long, you start tuning things out because there's nothing there to hold you accountable. There's nothing there to hold you because, God forbid, we walk into a church and trying to do a testimony these days, or trying to explain what God has done in your lives. We should be hearing about this stuff. We should be seeing what God is doing. But it's taboo, man. We're not allowed to talk about those things. Why? What deal did you make? If you're just out there trying to smooth over the world, well, let me just run this down to you real fast. You personally are walking yourself straight into hell. If you're one of them people that are constantly doubting, constantly blaming somebody else, constantly it's never your fault, constantly, well, I didn't get a promotion, well, I didn't get to do this, or I didn't get to do that. Well, let me tell you right now, you just keep on keeping on, because all you're doing is marching yourself right down that tunnel, straight into hell. I'm not afraid of that. When I go there, let me tell you what happened. Lucifer is afraid I'm going to take over. Lucifer, he ain't afraid of you doing anything. Because let me tell you right now, you're going to be so busy being tortured, you are going to be screaming and carried on, and they're just going to laugh at you. You know why? Because they're not going to hear your screams over the other zillion people down there screaming. It's true. I don't want to say, well, I told you so. I don't want to say, well, you'll find out when you get there. I don't want to say that because you speak stuff into existence, but that's exactly what it is. Because we're sitting in these watered down churches, and they don't want God to receive the glory. I'm convinced of it, but yet you think somebody would want to know about spiritual warfare. You think somebody would want to know about the things that are going on. My second oldest sister, she wanted me to come and anoint her house, and then when it push comes to shove and it got close to it, I mean, she's seeing the demons manifest. She's seeing these things, broken glass, and all this stuff happening in there. Well, it's nothing uncommon. We grew up in Copley, Ohio, and that place was wicked. I mean, it was wicked. But that normal, I should say, but the events that took place was our normal. You know, I grew up thinking that everybody goes through what we're going through. Everybody's got to be seeing this. Maybe they are. I remember that house, and when you looked under the front concrete steps, there was a window in the back of that, and you could clearly see the little rocking chair. And I drive by there every so often, and one of these days I just want to pull in that driveway and go, do you mind if I look and see if that in that window to see if that little chair is there? I wonder if somebody finally broke a piece of that wall out just to get to that chair. I wonder why in the world was it ever sealed off in the first place? Who just seals off underneath you? Because you think about that time frame of building houses where your front steps were, that concrete barrier thing there, the steps, whatever you want to call them. But you think about this though. You think about they left that open. So naturally it would mold or whatever. So most people would seal that off. So that's probably what happened. But my thing is, who in the world seals off a room and leaves the rocking chair? What held did they see manifest that they were willing to leave that thing there? Now I'm telling you right now, that girl that I seen under them steps, it wasn't a pleasant sight at all. Maybe some of you think, well, you know what? I'm going to overcome it. Okay. You know, overcome, adapt, and what's it is overcome, adapt, and something. Are you capable of doing that? Are you capable of overcoming something? I mean, are you just going to keep bringing it up every time you end up in a situation and not even thinking about it? Well, a time like the present. Are you going to be one of them people that when you're in that area of hell, you're just going to look at it and go, well, that's my own fault. No, let me tell you. You will be able to see your loved ones, but you're going to be so busy being tortured, you ain't going to have time to think about sending them an email. Good luck with that. It's not going to exist. Because when God raises his sheep up out of this world, there's going to be a lot of fallen angels falling back into hell. There's going to be a lot of misery going on. It has to, because we got to get into a peace treaty. All these things must take place. And if we don't think it's going to happen, well, then you are a fool and you're being misled. I would get rid of the distractions that you have. Pardon me. But what's important? What's really important to you that you're willing to share? Or are you? Are you going to just sit in church week after week after week? Are you finally going to stand up and say, why do we not have testimonies? Why are we not witnessing God's hand at work right now? Because it's Satan's time. See, Satan's day by day by day, Satan doesn't have to really go to the Father too much on much of anything because he holds it sacred, that time. See, time is a terrible thing to waste. Would you agree or disagree? Or maybe that time that you have, you're not really going to spend it praising. You're not really going to stand it uh, moving forward and trying to help people understand. Who knows? Who knows what you're going to do? Only God does. But if you think you can control today, you're sadly mistaken. You think that everything happens for a reason, you're sadly mistaken. I'm not saying that God, I don't put a box on God, and I sure don't put a box on Jesus. I know they're capable of doing whatever needs to be done. We just got to give them the proper respect that they deserve. Instead, we're too busy complaining, too busy trying to see what the neighbors are doing. We're worried because the neighbors might not be so nice, but yet it's driving us crazy. Do you really think that they're even thinking about you at this point? Most likely not. Well, it's true. And then you end up going in a corner somewhere, being in the room by yourself and just crying because your life's upside down. Because there's no permanent fixture, I guess, to how to fix something. So we give it to God. Show me. So what are you going to ask God today to show you? I'll tell you what I'm going to ask God for. If he can just relieve the pain in my back a little bit. Even doing this hurts. I mean, it literally it if I don't at least try to stretch so many times a day, it literally feels like my back's just gonna break. I mean, like literally just snap in half. Like they're how they're gonna do your bones in hell. In case you haven't figured out, I it takes me a bit to get into actually preaching about hell because basically traumatized by it. Right? It's the worst feeling in the world. The stuff you see that happens in hell. I just hope that I find God's grace and I'll make it. Guess I'm about to find out. Because I'll walk right in hell and I will shoot Satan with my gun. It actually is a gun. How much sense does that make? See how many seconds it takes to do something either right or wrong. This gun didn't kill anybody. The person using it. The murder. Tell me Satan ain't good at doing what he's doing. Just take a good look outside. Take a good look inside your own household. But you're allowing him to do it. You are. Well, I'm a single parent. Well, okay. That's even worse because now you don't have another parent stepping in into the place of it, and you still allow your children to do whatever they do. It's your roof. It's your rules. Respect it. Where are they going to go? Well, I'm going to move out. Okay, here you go. Do you need help putting your stuff in your car? What are you still doing here? I'm all about showing that tough love type attitude, and it made me get through the day. Makes me get through the night into the week. We going to hear the trumpets? I don't know. People are questioning: is it actually going to be? Is it going to fall on this Jewish holiday? Most likely. But how many people that really don't pay that much attention to it, and they're going to see what's going to happen? Then all of a sudden, well, yes, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, it's a little late. It's a little late. Or is it? Today's a new day. So, tomorrow, same time, same bad channel now. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to tell you guys, unless something seriously comes up and I'm not able to do it. But tomorrow, I'm going to tell you guys what happened when I fell and what I seen. I mean, I talked a little bit about the tornadoes and the hurricanes and all that kind of stuff, and um, yeah, it's a mess. It's a hard deal to have to deal with. It's a hard thing to have to see that and live that every day. But I don't know. I guess I question hell, and where I question is, do I even dare even go into more, or do I just leave it from how I did the hell testimony, and I just leave it at that? You know, but I've always questioned, does anybody really get anything even out of them videos? Or is it just something to watch that you hope that you're never going to have to be there? I'm hoping that people are at least repentant and asking God into their lives and asking Jesus to mold them and sculpt them and to make them, without that blemish, without any uh, sick thoughts or whatever that's taking place. I just ask, but Lord, but not let my will be done, but let your will be done. So we're gonna see. I don't know. I'll wait till this thing should be uploaded tomorrow, but I'll probably wait a few hours. I mean, tomorrow after it gets loaded up, I'll probably give it a few hours just to see what anybody's comments are. If not, some people probably just tell me to go pound salt, and I'm okay with that too. But either way, God bless you. Caleb, thanks for reaching out to me. It means more than what you think, what it actually means. And I'm thankful for you. Thankful that you took time out of your busy day and come to spend some time with an old fool. So let me know what your thoughts are going to be. Let each day be to fulfill your purpose. Lord, let today be the day that we come as one union together under your precious blood and oath, that all things be made new in our lives tonight as we sleep. Let all things be done to bring you back to accept your sheep today. Continue to mold and sculpt me, Lord. Remove anything out of my life. Remove whatever the reason why these prayers are going on. And we may still have to walk into that darkness. Not to live eternally, but we may have to walk into that darkness. But if you're confident, don't get overconfidence because Satan can use it. So before you do anything, seek God, seek Jesus, and don't back away. Be confident in everything that you choose, that you hear God tell you to do. Let it be done to glorify Him and to glorify the Son. God bless you guys. Till the next one. But wait till the video uploads. Leave me some messages about your thoughts or whatever. I'm always curious to see if anybody still wants even to hear any hell testimonies, or is it just too late for that? And it is what it's going to be. That's what I like to say. It's going to be what it's going to be. But God bless you guys. Till the next one. Love ya.